watching Play Unplugged TV.
PlayUnplugged.com, and I'm here with Brian Pope, the designer of Mage Wars. Now, Brian, I want to just tell you a little story about my experience. I came down to Origins for Play Unplugged to cover games. That's what we do. And I just got my badge, and I looked at my badge and I saw this Mage Wars logo, and I'm like, Mage Wars, what is this about? And so I've traveled around, you know, with doing my camera thing, and bang, I pop into your booth, I play this demo, and I'm very impressed. It's a really nice game.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Me and a team of about 25 guys have been working on this game for 4.5 years. Worked very hard to develop it and get it to the point where we could debut it here at Origins. We were actually printing spell cards the night before Origins to be able to get this out in time, and we're really excited about the reception we've had out here.
And even for, it's funny, like one of our freelance writers who's with me took a look at the pre-production stuff, and he's like, oh wow, these components are really good. And I'm like, that's not even the finished components. These are like, this is what they're bringing out to work and demo with the crowd, with the Origins crowd, to see what the game is about and to introduce it to people.
We're working hard to bring out a really good quality product. When we release the product, we want every component to be of the highest quality. We want this to be a lasting game. So you buy the base set, and then you've got a game that lasts for years, and then you can buy expansions to go with that.
So let's talk about, like, let's give them a feel first for what is Mage Wars about. Let's talk about, like, what is the game about? What's the goal?
Okay, the entire concept behind Mage Wars is to simulate battles between different mages from different schools. You know, we originally created the game because we're asking questions like, what would it be like if a warlock fought a priestess, or a beastmaster fought a wizard? They have different spells, different methods of attacking, different skills. How would they do in an arena? And we decided to create a game that would simulate that, and that's what Mage Wars is all about. Mages come into this arena, they start in opposite corners, and they fight to the death. They get no equipment, no armor, very little mana. They have to start with nothing and then build up and take down the other mage.
I think one of the interesting tactical aspects of it is that, you know, you are playing the mage, that represents you, but you're on the board. You're at risk. Your life is very much at risk in the game as you're playing.
That's a very good point. We've created the game so that you are actually in the game. You are that mage, and every spell you're casting is coming from you, and you feel it when things happen to you or things go wrong, and you get excited when you start overtaking the other player.
Now, my understanding is in the box set that in the initial release box set, you're going to get a choice of 4 mages.
That's correct. Our plan is to release 4 mages in the base set. So you'll get a beastmaster, a wizard, a priestess, and a warlock. Each of them has their own unique play style, their own unique spell selection, and what we've been working so hard on for 4.5 years is to balance them so that they can play each other with a totally different play style, yet have a fair chance against each of the other mages. We also have 16 other mages pre-planned. We've got a force master, a druid, a paladin, a necromancer, warlord, all sorts of exciting mages, and they're all being play tested and balanced right now.
That sounds awesome. Now, I got to play the beastmaster, and I played the priestess, and I had a blast. And I did feel like one of the things that you guys have got down, I really felt like it was every man's game till the very last, you know, till the very last second.
That's a really good point too. We've worked hard to build a system in the Mage Wars where there's surprises and turnarounds. So just when you think the game is going your way, another player can play 2 or 3 spells or reveal some hidden enchantments that will turn the game around in their favor, and you really don't know who's going to win until the last drop of blood comes off the other mage.
Actually, Brian, since you brought up enchantments, that's a great segue, because I thought the enchantment mechanic was a particularly clever one. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure, thank you. The enchantments is our way of having hidden surprises in the game. The enchantments are represented by these golden cards here, and they have a hidden cost and a reveal cost. And how that works is, when you play an enchantment, you always put it face down on the board. Nobody knows what it is other than yourself. And then you reveal it at any time it has an effect on the game. And so you might shoot an arrow at, have one of your archers shoot an arrow at one of the other guy's creatures, and he will flip over a reverse attack enchantment, which will reverse the attack back on him. That's a nice, unpleasant surprise, but we have a lot of other dirty tricks built into the game that are on that foundation.
Yeah, and I think one of the genius aspects of it is when you put that enchantment face down, all the enchantments cost 3. So even though one enchantment might be very powerful and one might not be as powerful, one might be 3 and then you spend 2 more to reveal it, or 3 more to reveal it, and one might be just like you spend the 3 and you add 1 to reveal it. The genius in it is that when you put that enchantment down, all the enchantments cost 3 initially, so there's no way to know what kind of trap card you put down.
That's true. That's how we built into the game. We came up with 3 because that's usually the minimum cost for the lowest enchantment in the game, so it worked out good. And then you just pay the difference later. And it's great for having surprises. We have some particularly nasty stuff built into the game that allows you to counter spells and reverse things and turn the game around and take the other player by surprise.
Now, when the initial box set is released, what am I going to get in that box set?
Well, the plan right now is to give you 4 mages, which means you'll get these 4 spell books here. They'll actually have our mage artwork on the cover, and they'll have the name of the mage on the back, so you can put them on your shelf and pick out the mage you want to play with. And then you'll be filled with all the spells that go with this particular mage, all of his creatures and his conjurations and enchantments and instant spells. And you'll get a board, a hardbound mounted arena board. You'll get tokens and counters and markers, and you'll get these custom Mage Wars dice. And then in addition to that, you'll get some laminated charts to go with the game and the rules.
Very cool, very cool. Now, you were talking about expanding with some other, with some more mages. How do you think that will start to shape out? I know I'm asking you to kind of predict into the future past, like where we are right now, but what are you thinking as far as how is that going to expand? Are people going to be like, oh, I really want the Necromancer, I'm going to buy that Necromancer?
Oh, exactly. Well, what we're planning on doing is releasing a new mage every few months, and you'll be able to buy the mage. It'll come with his spell book and all his special abilities and spells, and it'll also come with a stack of additional cards, probably about 50 additional cards, which allows you to mix and match spells so you can customize the mage yourself. And if you don't mind, I'll just segue into the customization aspect.
I think that would be great, because my understanding is there's a large amount of spells. Like, just because you're playing the Beastmaster doesn't mean that the person who is across from you, if they know the Beastmaster, they're going to know what you're going to do.
Right. What we've done is we've created a system by which you can customize these mages, make them your own. You can customize them, put the spells in there that you want, put the dirty tricks in there that you want, and we have a point system for building your mage. So you'll spend so many points putting the spells in your spell book that you want. And basically, I'll just give a very quick rundown. If the Beastmaster is buying spells for his spell book, he'll pay their cost in points for the nature spells at a reasonable cost. But if he buys spells outside his school, let's say he wants to put a mind control spell from the mind school or an illusion spell, those will cost him double. And it's just enough of a point system where you want to stay within your school and keep things true to their nature, but you're going to have plenty of surprises too.
It's flexible enough so that if you want to throw out, if you want to sneak something into somebody and be like, whoa, hey, I didn't expect that. That's not something normally that the priestess would throw at me. You can do it.
Exactly. Well, we've built a lot of nice tricks in the game where one spell from one school, when combined with a spell from another school, creates a combination that's very powerful. Of course, you have to pay dearly for it. You'll have to pay double points to get that other spell from another school, but it works out really well, and I think players will have a lot of fun. Actually, in the group that we play test with in Dallas, Texas, that's the funnest part of the game, is making our own mages and creating them, customizing them, and having them do exactly what we want them to do, and surprising the other players with our new dirty trick we came up with.
That sounds totally awesome. So when can we expect to be able to purchase this product?
I don't want to give a release date right now because we're still working on it. The original plan was Origins of 2012, but we're planning on moving that date up a little bit as much as possible because the demand has been so great. This trade show has revealed a lot to us. It was unprecedented how much of a great reception we've received here. Our booth has been backed up, 2-hour waiting limits to play games. We're constantly stocked to the brim with players, and we don't have any room for any new ones, and everyone's loving the game. Everyone's asking when can we buy it. So we're going to try to move things up a little bit from the original date.
That sounds awesome. Now, if someone's watching this video right now at home and they're saying, oh man, I want to find out more information, where can they go to get more information on Mage Wars?
Well, we just threw up our website a couple weeks ago. It's www.magewars.com. Please go there and check on the game. We're going to be building that site heavily over the next few weeks, and you should be able to get more information about what we're doing, when the game's going to come out, how the game is played, pictures of the spells and the artwork and the mages and how they function. So we're going to give you as much information as we can, and you can sign up for a newsletter on the website too.
Brian, thank you so much. This sounds like a really exciting product, and I can't wait till we can get it out and actually get a chance to get it in our houses and play it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You're mirroring what everyone else has been telling us too. I'm overwhelmed with the reception. I'm very excited. We worked really, really hard on this game to get it to market.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. It was a great interview.